Don't skip. Something happened today. Something you didn't see coming. You felt it in their voice. A hesitation. A pause that lasted just a second too long. Maybe you told yourself it was nothing. Maybe you still believe that. But your heart knows. It always knows. They love you. You are certain of that. Their eyes light up when you walk into a room. Their hand reaches for yours in the dark. They remember the small things, the little details, the moments that most people would forget. Yet something is different now. Something has shifted. You have noticed the way their gaze sometimes drifts. Not away from you, exactly. But somewhere just beyond you. As if they are looking at something you cannot see. As if there is a version of you that exists in their mind, and they are searching for it. That is the part they will never say out loud. They will never tell you what they see. They will never speak the words that live in the quiet corners of their thoughts. Because they are afraid. Afraid that if they say it, they will lose you. Afraid that the truth will shatter everything they have built with you. And they are right to be afraid. Because this is not about them. This is about you. About what you carry. About the weight you have placed on your own shoulders without even realizing it. About the story you tell yourself every morning when you look in the mirror. Perhaps you have always felt it. A quiet discomfort. A small voice that whispers things you try to ignore. You have learned to live with it, to push it down, to pretend it doesn't matter. But someone else has noticed. Someone whose opinion matters more than you want to admit. They love you. That is not the question. The question is what they cannot accept. And here is the hardest part. They do not want to change you. They do not want to fix you. They do not want to mold you into something you are not. That is not what this is. That is not the problem. The problem is deeper. Stranger. More difficult to explain. It is not about a feature. It is not about a flaw. It is not about anything you can point to or name. It is something else. Something that lives in the space between your body and your soul. Something that they feel but cannot describe. Stay with me here. Because the next part is the part you need to hear. They have tried to ignore it. They have tried to love past it. They have tried to convince themselves that it does not matter, that it is small, that it is nothing compared to everything else you are. And for a while, that worked. For a while, they believed it. But you cannot ignore what you feel in your bones. Every time you walk away, they watch you go. And in that moment, something happens inside them. Something they do not understand. A tightening in their chest. A voice that says something they refuse to repeat. And you? You have felt it too. You have caught them staring. You have seen their expression change, just for a flash, just for a moment, before they remembered to smile. You have known something was wrong, even when they insisted everything was fine. But you did not press. You did not ask. Because deep down, you were afraid of the answer. One more layer. This is not about rejection. This is not about them pulling away. This is not about them falling out of love. On the contrary. Their love for you has only grown. It has deepened. It has become something they cannot explain, something they cannot control, something that terrifies them. And that is exactly why this hurts so much. Because they love you. And because of that love, they see you. All of you. Not just the parts you show the world. Not just the mask you wear. They see the piece of you that you have tried to hide. The piece you have never fully accepted. And that piece is the problem. Have you noticed how they sometimes look at you with sadness in their eyes? Have you noticed how they hold you a little tighter, as if they are afraid you might disappear? That is not because they want to leave. That is because they are already grieving something they have not yet lost. You will understand soon. Because the biggest truth is still hidden. The thing they cannot say. The thing they will never say. The thing that lives in their heart like a secret they carry everywhere. Stay until the end. Because what comes next will change the way you see everything. Not just them. Not just this relationship. Everything. Yourself. Your past. Your future. The story you have told yourself about who you are and why you matter. Another piece. They love you. But their love is complicated. It is tangled with something else. Something they have never told anyone. Something that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with them. And yet, you are the one who feels it. You are the one who carries the weight of their silence. You are the one who wonders, late at night, what is wrong. Perhaps you have blamed yourself. Perhaps you have searched for answers in your own reflection. Perhaps you have tried to become something different, something better, something that would finally put that look out of their eyes. But that is not the answer. The answer is not in changing yourself. The answer is not in becoming someone you are not. The answer is in understanding what they are really seeing. What they are really feeling. What they are really afraid of. And that understanding, that will take time. One final truth before you go. This is not about your appearance. Not really. That is just the surface. That is just the word they would use if they had to explain it. But beneath that word is something much deeper. Something that has been waiting for you to find it. You are closer than you think. You have always been closer than you think. The next part will show you what lies beneath. The next part will reveal the hidden piece. The next part will give you the key you have been looking for. But for now, sit with this. They love you. They have always loved you. And that love is strong enough to survive this. Strong enough to hold both of you through what comes next. The question is not whether they will stay. The question is whether you will stay with yourself. Whether you will face what they cannot say. Whether you will look into your own reflection and see what they see. Whether you will finally accept the part of you that you have tried to hide. That is the real journey. And it is only just beginning. Don't skip. You felt it the moment they walked into the room. That shift in the air. That subtle change in their energy. They smiled at you, the same smile they always give. But something was different. You just couldn't name it. They sat beside you. Their hand found yours, as it always does. Their fingers intertwined with yours, warm and familiar. And yet, something in the way they held you felt different. Not colder. Not distant. But careful. As if they were afraid of breaking something. And maybe they were. Because here is the truth they have not told you. Here is the secret they carry every time they look at you. The one they hide behind their smile, behind their laughter, behind the way they say, "I love you," with such certainty that you never question it. They love you. That is not the lie. The lie is that their love is simple. That it comes without conditions. That it exists in a vacuum, untouched by the world around it. That is what they want you to believe. That is what they want to believe themselves. But love is never that clean. And they know it. They feel it. Every single day. When you turn your back, they let their eyes linger. When you are not watching, they let the mask slip. And in those unguarded moments, something surfaces. Something they would never let you see. Something they barely let themselves feel. It is not disgust. It is not rejection. It is not even disappointment. It is something more complicated. Something they do not have words for. They look at you and they see everything you are. Everything you have been. Everything you could become. And somewhere in that vision, in that overwhelming fullness of who you are, there is a single thought. A thought that makes them feel shallow. A thought that makes them feel small. They wish you were different. One more layer. You have seen the way they look at other people. Not with desire. Not with longing. But with a quiet curiosity. A brief pause. A small flicker in their eyes before they remember where they are. You thought it was nothing. You told yourself you were imagining it. But you weren't. They are searching for something. They do not even know what. They are trying to understand a feeling that they have never had the courage to name. And somewhere in that search, they have started to wonder. What if? The most dangerous question in the world. The question that undoes everything. The question that has the power to destroy even the deepest love. But here is what they will never tell you. They do not want someone else. They do not want to leave. They do not want to trade you for a different face, a different body, a different version of what they already have. That is not the answer. That was never the answer. The answer is something else entirely. Something hidden. Something buried beneath layers of fear and shame and years of unspoken truth. Something that has nothing to do with you and everything to do with the story they have been telling themselves. Stay with me here. Because the next part is where everything starts to make sense. The next part is where you stop blaming yourself. Where you stop searching for flaws in your own reflection. Where you start to see what they see, and realize it was never about your appearance at all. They are carrying a weight. A weight they picked up long before they met you. A weight they have been dragging through every relationship, every moment of intimacy, every chance to truly connect. And that weight has shaped everything. Including the way they see you. They are afraid. Afraid of what it means to fully love someone. Afraid of what it means to fully accept someone. Afraid that if they let themselves see you completely, they will have to see themselves completely too. And that is a door they have never been ready to open. But they are standing in front of it now. Because you are standing in front of them now. And you are holding the key. Have you noticed how they never let the conversation go too deep? How they always pull back just before things get real? How they change the subject, make a joke, find a reason to leave the room. That is not because they do not trust you. That is because they do not trust themselves to stay. One more piece. They love you. The love is real. The love is true. The love is the most honest thing they have ever felt. And that is exactly why they cannot say what they need to say. Because they are terrified that this love will be taken away. Not by you. By them. By their own inability to see past whatever is blocking them. By their own fear of being seen. By their own secret hope that you will figure it out before they have to explain it. You are closer than you think. The answers are not in the mirror. They are not in your reflection. They are not in anything you can change or fix or improve. The answers are in their silence. In their hesitation. In the way they hold you just a little too tightly when they think you might leave. They are asking you to stay. Not because they want to keep you. But because they need to find themselves in your eyes. Because they need to see the person they have been running from, reflected back in someone who loves them enough to stay. And that is the deepest truth of all. The problem they have with your appearance is just a shadow. A shadow cast by their own fear. A shadow that will disappear the moment they finally turn around and face what they have been hiding from. But they cannot turn around alone. They need you. They need your patience. They need your presence. They need the steady, quiet strength of someone who knows who they are and refuses to change. Someone like you. The next part will show you exactly how to hold them through this. How to be the anchor they need. How to walk through the door together, without losing yourself in the process. But for now, sit with this one truth. They love you. They have always loved you. And their struggle is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their own unresolved story. A story that is still being written. Don't skip. You have been waiting for them to speak. Waiting for the words that will finally explain everything. Waiting for that moment when they turn to you and say what they have been holding back for so long. But that moment is not coming. Not the way you expect it. Not the way you have imagined late at night when you cannot sleep. Because they are not going to tell you. They cannot tell you. They do not even fully understand what they are feeling. And that is the hardest part to accept. They love you. That has never been the question. But love does not always come with clarity. Love does not always come with the ability to name what is wrong. Sometimes love comes with confusion. With silence. With a strange, aching distance that neither of you can bridge. You have felt that distance growing. Day by day. Week by week. It is not dramatic. It is not loud. It is quiet, subtle, easy to miss if you are not paying attention. But you are paying attention. Because you know them. You know the way their breath changes when something is wrong. You know the way their eyes drift when they are holding back. You know the way their hand lingers just a moment too long when they are trying to say goodbye. And you know that something has shifted. But here is what you do not know yet. They are not pulling away from you. They are pulling away from themselves. From the part of them that has been awakened by your presence. From the part of them that is terrified of what they see when they look at you. One more layer. There was a time, long ago, when they believed they were unlovable. A time when they looked in the mirror and saw something broken. Something that would never be enough. Something that would always be left behind. They built walls around that belief. They built a life that proved it wrong. They found success, confidence, people who admired them. They convinced themselves that the old voice was gone. That the old wound had healed. And then you came. And suddenly, the voice was back. Not because of anything you did. But because you reminded them of something they had forgotten. Something they had buried so deeply they thought it would never surface again. You reminded them of their own reflection. The way you carry yourself. The way you speak. The way you laugh at your own flaws and keep moving forward. The way you exist in the world without apology, without shame, without the constant weight of self-doubt. They look at you and they see someone who is whole. And it terrifies them. Because they do not feel whole. They have never felt whole. And being with you, loving you, watching you live so freely, it holds up a mirror to everything they have been running from. Have you noticed how they sometimes get quiet after you share something vulnerable? How they listen to your struggles and then change the subject, as if they cannot bear to go deeper? That is not because they do not care. That is because they are drowning. Drowning in the realization that you have faced the same fears they have faced, and somehow you have come out stronger. Drowning in the awareness that they are still trapped. Still running. Still hiding. And the way you look, the way your appearance carries your story, your resilience, your truth, it reminds them of everything they have not yet done. Stay with me. Because the next part is where the weight begins to lift. The next part is where you stop trying to read their mind and start understanding the pattern beneath their behavior. The next part is where you realize that their problem is not with you. It is with the version of themselves they see in you. And that version is begging to be set free. They are not rejecting you. They are rejecting the change you represent. The change they know they need to make. The change they have been avoiding for years. Because change is painful. Change requires facing the parts of yourself you have worked so hard to forget. And they are not ready. But they are getting closer. Every day with you brings them closer. Every moment of your unwavering love pushes them toward the edge of their own truth. One more piece. They have started to do something strange. Something you may not have noticed. Something that holds the key to everything. They have started to defend you. Not to your face. Not in ways you can see. But in small moments, small conversations, small spaces where they are forced to explain you to others. They defend your choices, your quirks, the very things that make you who you are. And in those moments of defense, something shifts inside them. They hear themselves speaking about you with such conviction. Such certainty. Such love. And for a brief moment, they see you through their own words. They see the beauty they have been struggling to accept. They see the wholeness they have been afraid to acknowledge. And it scares them. Because it means the problem is not real. It means the problem exists only in their mind. It means they have been fighting a ghost. A ghost that has no power except the power they give it. But they are not ready to admit that yet. They are still holding on to the ghost. Still afraid of what happens when it disappears. Still afraid of what will be left when they have nothing left to blame. You will understand soon. The biggest truth is still hidden. The truth that will finally set both of you free. The truth that has nothing to do with how you look and everything to do with how they see themselves. Another layer. They have started to look at you differently. Not with discomfort. But with wonder. As if they are beginning to see something they missed before. As if the fog is slowly lifting. Have you noticed the way their eyes linger a little longer? The way they touch your face, softly, gently, as if they are memorizing something? The way they say your name with a tenderness that was not there before? They are changing. Slowly, quietly, without even realizing it. They are learning to see you as you are. To accept you as you are. To love you as you are. And in that process, they are learning to accept themselves. The final piece is coming. The peace that will bring everything together. The peace that will show you why this struggle was necessary. Why this distance had to exist. Why this silence had to be broken by something other than words. They love you. That has always been true. And now, for the first time, they are beginning to love themselves. The next part will show you what happens when that love finally meets. When their love for you and their love for themselves stop fighting each other. When the mirror finally shatters and they see what you have always seen. You. The one who stayed. The one who never gave up. The one who loved them through their silence. And that love is the thing that will save them both. Don't skip. Something is shifting. Can you feel it? The air between you has changed. The silence is no longer heavy. It is no longer filled with unspoken questions and hidden fears. Something else has taken its place. Something lighter. Something that feels almost like hope. But do not mistake this for resolution. Because the journey is not over. The deepest part is still ahead. The part where everything they have been hiding finally rises to the surface. The part where you are forced to see what they have be.